Hello, children. I hope all of you all are doing very well. In continuing with our English portions, we are now moving on to chapter number 6 of our Magic Place textbook for class 8. The lesson that we are going to do is superstitions. Now, this lesson, by the name of it itself, it brings it is a very interesting topic because unconsciously or consciously, even most of us do practice a little bit of superstitions in our day to day life. Not on an everyday basis, but sometimes, we do follow certain superstitions unconsciously or consciously. Either that is, passed on from, generation to generation, or because, somebody told it to you and then you become a little more cautious about it and then you practice it. So here the word superstition, if you go to see, has no specific meaning. It is but just, you can say, a set of beliefs in either good luck or bad luck, and they do not give you any rational explanations. Rational means they do not give us any, what you say, uh, explanation with a valid reason. Okay, now if you ask for a simpler term, or how is superstition said in Malayalam or in Hindi, you can say it is Andhavishwasam or Andhavishwas. In both the languages, it's almost the same word. Okay, so I will, there is this, since this is just a general topic, there is no name for the person who has written this topic. So I will start off reading the content written on page 33. So, children, open your books to page 33, lesson 6. The name of the lesson: Superstitions. Superstitions are beliefs that particular events happen in a way that cannot be explained by reason or by science. Superstitions are part of our heritage and transport us back to a distant past that is linked to the roots of our culture. The ancient stories of our forefathers are still extant, many having remained unchanged for hundreds, perhaps even thousands of years. So, here in the first paragraph, the author is just telling us what do you understand by the term superstitions. He tells us it is nothing but a set of beliefs that are followed, that brings, sometimes it brings good luck, sometimes it brings bad luck, and that cannot be explained by specific reason or by a science, that cannot be supported by a specific reason or particular reason or by science. It is just, you're handed over to us by our forefathers, or you can say as a part of our culture, from the land from where you come, or depending upon the country where you stay, so or the society where you live. So certain practices that are followed and are handed down over through generations or generations, or heritage, and through culture, it is passed on to different people. So then he says the stories of our forefathers are still extant. Means, he says, that are still in existence, and we, when we hear it, sometimes we start thinking, yeah, yeah, that could be true, or no, it couldn't be true. It is, it becomes very judgmental. So depending upon how we follow faith or believe in luck, we then start, following that or practicing that. So here he says that, second paragraph, rational thought and the advance of science have cast doubt on the superstitious beliefs, yet many people still believe in them. There are hundreds of common daily activities which are linked to superstition. Each culture has its own variations of these. So, here the author just goes on to say that, even with some of the practices or the superstitions that are followed, you cannot give a, particular genuine explanation or support it with scientific backing. So, we just follow it blindly, and sometimes, our day to day activities also, there are so many activities that we do in our day to day life, and sometimes, superstitions could be linked even with our day to day activities. So, it is, it depends upon the background from where you come, the society from where you come, or the culture which is, followed by you. So these are some of the, what do you say, characteristics that affect you into, practicing or following some of the superstitions. People all over the world are superstitious about what brings good luck and bad luck and what protects them from evil. So here, even sometimes, when things go wrong in our life, we start believing, no, if I do it like that way, then it will become correct. Or you must have heard certain things that, if I start, like most of us, like, when we are going through a bad phase of time, we all generally tend to, get drawn closer to God. And then we hear people saying that, if you go, like, I can give you an example, like, okay, you say this novena for 9 weeks, or this prayer for, 10 continuous days, then definitely you are, going to get what you want or something. So these are, generally beliefs that are followed by most of the people. And then because when it comes to religious belief and all, we don't want to hurt the sentiments of the others. So we say yes, it is, connected with religion, and yeah, God will definitely hear our prayers, and then automatically we start, following it. So here it is, here you cannot say superstition, here it is beliefs. But then there are certain things that, certain people do because it is, passed on from generations to generations. Now moving on to page 34. The most popular methods of warding off evil is carrying a mascot. The word mascot comes from the French word mascot, which means sorcerer. The mascot is supposed to have magical powers, bringing in good luck and keeping evil spirits away. Talismans, from the Greek word talisma, meaning mystery or lucky mascots, while amulets protect the wearer from the evil eye. Strange and unpleasant objects were often chosen as amulets so that the evil eye would look away in disgust. In ancient Egypt, cats were often carved onto amulets because they were regarded as auspicious and sacred. On the other hand, in the medieval Europe, cats were associated with witches and were thought to be harbingers of bad luck. So now here the author tells us that, what about the different things that were used to, either bring in good luck or to ward off bad luck, or to, push away bad luck. So he says that, some of the popular beliefs was that carrying a mascot. So here mascot means nothing but an object that was believed to bring good luck. Okay, so here, and it also tells us the origin from where the word came, mascot came from the French word masquer, which usually means sorcerer. Sorcerer means nothing but a man or a person who possess magical powers. Okay, then uh, the mascot is supposed to have magical powers, bringing in good luck. So this mascot was usually, kept by a person or carried by a person because, according to his or her belief, was that it only brought in good luck, and it would keep away the evil spirits away. So the two reasons for keeping a mascot was it would bring good luck to the person, and all the evil spirits will be kept away. Then talisman, from the Greek word talisman, means mystery, are meaning they are nothing but lucky mascots, which, while amulets protect the wearer from the evil eye. So here, in the same way, even talismans are also nothing, but they are also objects that are believed to bring good luck and keep the owner safe from harm. Okay, so now here we see that, certain people and all, you can see they wear, what do you say, sacred different colored threads on their hands or on around their neck, or tight on their arm, with some, like a with a pendant or something like that way. It is, for them it means that, if you have it with me, if you have it on you, or the person who wears it, that means only, it will keep away all the evil spirits, not spirits, all the evil things from happening, or all the bad things from happening to you. So even on the, what do you say, on the TV channels and all, you must have seen certain channels and all, they promote all this, like you must have heard of the, smiling Buddha or laughing Buddha, or what do you say, the bamboo shoots that are grown, and you must have seen the blue eye, which comes in the form of keychains or bracelets, or in the form of chains and all. So these are, some of the superstitions that are followed by certain category of people, because according to them they feel like, if the smiling Buddha or laughing Buddha, or those, bamboo shoots, which are grown in a small, what do you say, pot, and are generally kept over your working area, in the sense like in an office and all. It generally brings, what do you say, uh, good luck, or it creates an environment of positivity, and that, what do you say, the evil eye or the blue eyed bracelet or keychain, or chain what is worn around this thing, it signifies that it can, send away or ward off evil spirits from you. So these are, generally some of the uh, beliefs that are followed by, uh, you can't say certain sections of society, but invariably by most of the people, either knowingly or unknowingly. So here it says that, cats and all were carved out of amulets, and they were regarded as auspicious and sacred according to people of ancient Egypt. Whereas the same cat, if it was, found to be in the European, this thing, they were usually associated to be connected to witches, or they were the ones who brought in bad luck. Okay, so children, I will stop my first module here with the first paragraph of on page 34. The next I will be continued in the second module.